Joining us today to give us some legal analysis, constitutional law attorney Jeff Lewis is joining the program. Jeff, great to see you. Thank you for being with us. And I want to pick your brain a little bit about what I was just talking with Julia about with respect to what happened to Judge Merrick Garland and how the senators didn't move on that nomination. They just decided, no, we're not going to go through the process of hearings. And here we see now with Judge Barrett, they are. But you see many of them even saying, to her and to those watching the program all over the nation that they won't be voting, to confirm her because of the political reasons and because of what occurred in the past. And to me, it just seems so unfair. I wish there were a rule that said as soon as the president makes a nomination, then Senate, you need to move forward with the confirmation, and only if they're unfit to serve should they not be confirmed. Give us your thoughts on it, if you would, please.
Right. Yeah. So first, the GOP, it doesn't seem to be following any principle in how they're proceeding. Instead, might makes right. They have the votes, and so they're ramming this through as quickly as they can. And I agree with you. It's a shame there's not a set of rules that could be applied to all of these situations. They're also doing this quicker than past nominations. Past nominations have taken between 2 and 3 months. This one will be done before Election Day, which will be probably 30 or 40 days in total.
Gotcha. All right, Jeff, let's take a look at a clip if we can. This is Senator Patrick Leahy, a Democrat from Vermont, questioning Judge Barrett. This is an exchange, and they're talking about the power to pardon that a president has. Let's watch.
And does a president have an absolute right to pardon himself for a crime? I mean, we heard this question after President Nixon's impeachment.
Senator Leahy, so far as I know, that question has never been litigated. That question has never arisen. That question may or may not arise, but it's one that calls for a legal analysis of what the scope of the pardon power is. So because it would be opining on an open question when I haven't gone through the judicial process to decide it, it's not one on which I can offer a view.
Okay, and so, but you were willing to say that no person, not you, not me, not a president, is above the law. I find your answers somewhat incompatible, but those are your answers. You have a right to say what you want.
All right, Jeff Lewis, give us your take, please, on what we just saw in that exchange.
Personally, I'm disappointed. What a softball question that could have easily been answered. It didn't refer to Trump. It just referred to the power of the president to pardon himself. And this nominee could have answered that question quite easily. And I'm disappointed. And I think members of the public are likely disappointed they didn't get an answer to that question.
Tell me, what do you think overall of her responses to the various questions? Obviously, they're remarkably different depending on who is doing the asking, which member of what party. But tell me, what do you think overall, how she has handled herself throughout these few days?
She's handled herself well in terms of her demeanor and in terms of the way she presents herself. She's acting as though she has these votes locked up, so she's not taking any chances. She's not taking any risks. She's answering questions as though she knows that her confirmation is a certainty, which everyone widely agrees is a certainty.
Gotcha. All right, let's move on to another topic if we can. Well, they're still on break. They're still fixing those tech issues. But we heard Senator Grassley asking her this morning about the concept of cameras in courtrooms where they haven't been allowed historically, like the Supreme Court. Let's take a look at that clip now.
But I've discussed cameras in the courtroom and introduced legislation on that over the last 15 years. It's not a very popular subject. Judge Souter joked that he'd have to roll over in his dead body before they'd put cameras on the Supreme Court. While I can respect that point of view, I totally disagree. Many of us believe that allowing cameras in the courtroom would open the courts to the public and bring about a better understanding of the judiciary. For many years, that bill that I've introduced has been called the Sunshine in the Courtroom Act, a bill to give judges the discretion to allow media coverage of federal court proceedings. I'm also a co-sponsor of Senator Durbin's bill to allow cameras in the Supreme Court. I understand that the 7th Circuit Court of Appeals, where you currently serve, adopted procedures to allow requests for video recording of oral arguments, as well as public release of the recordings.
That's correct.
Has your court had any problems with these procedures? What are your views on allowing cameras in the courtroom? If confirmed, would you keep an open mind about allowing cameras in the Supreme Court?
I would certainly keep an open mind about allowing cameras in the Supreme Court.
Well, those of us at Court TV loved hearing that answer from Judge Barrett. Jeff, I want to ask you, what is it, historically in your is your understanding of why haven't we had more of a push to have cameras in the Supreme Court?
Well, first, let me caution you, don't get excited by that answer. Historically, many nominees have expressed an open mind about cameras in the courtroom, but once they get confirmed, there's pushback. And there's been a tremendous call over the years for cameras in the courtroom, but at the end of the day, it's the Supreme Court who decides whether cameras come in. And my understanding is the pushback is to give some solemnity over the proceedings, to make sure there's not grandstanding, to make sure people aren't speaking for video clips that could be used later on, that type of thing.
Gotcha. Grandstanding like we've seen the last couple of days in Washington during these hearings, that is for sure. Jeff Lewis, always great to have you on the program. You're going to be staying with us. Want you to stay with us at home. Kindly, we thank you for spending your afternoon with us. We're going to get you back in front of the Senate Judiciary Committee as soon as things pick up. You are watching Court TV Live, your front row seat to justice.